Imagine holding something beautiful in your hands. But it's more than just beautiful, right? It sort of whispers stories, stories of ancient lands, skilled hands, traditions passed down, through generations. An item that doesn't just add warmth and color to a room, but also carries, well, the weight of history and the spirit of a really vibrant culture. That's the kind of profound allure we're talking about, something that goes way beyond just being functional. It becomes a vessel, really, for artistry and heritage. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into exactly that kind of object, the exquisite Shirvan rug. And this isn't really about, a floor covering. It's about a really rich heritage, incredibly intricate craftsmanship, and, well, a captivating journey through time and culture that stretches across continents and centuries. It's about trying to understand a language that's woven in thread. Our mission in this deep dive, then, is to unpack the unique characteristics of Shirvan rugs.
Yeah.
We want to explore their historical and cultural roots, which stretch way back, and understand their significance in the broader, fascinating world of Oriental carpets. And we'll even touch upon their enduring value and, maybe surprisingly, their global reach today. We'll be drawing from some really interesting sources like Babak's Oriental Carpets, Services and Expertise, Shirvan, the exquisite Caucasian weave, and the artistry of Caucasian and Shirvan rugs. So for you, our curious learner, this deep dive should offer a shortcut, a way to become truly well-informed about a really special art form. Prepare for some aha moments, hopefully, as we connect the threads of history, geography, and artistry. We want to help you understand not just what Shirvan rugs are, but why they matter, what makes them so sought after, and, well, how their story continues to unfold even now. Okay, let's unpack this. To ground us in the practical sort of living world of these magnificent textiles, let's maybe start with a look at where you might actually encounter pieces like this today and the kind of deep, specialized knowledge that surrounds them. Our sources give us a glimpse into a business that seems built on, well, real expertise in this very particular and passionate field.
Indeed. And it's quite telling, isn't it? We learned about Babak's Oriental Carpets, and it's a business with a genuinely multi-generational legacy, which, that speaks volumes about the dedication and the long-term vision needed in this unique industry. Think about Dr. Hushang Rizwani, for instance. He spent an impressive 35 years building an honorable reputation, just focused on the carpet business in Graz, Austria.
35 years.
Yeah, 3.5 decades. Just mastering the craft, understanding all the nuances, building that foundation of trust and quality. And that's in a very niche, high-value market, remember. And then, after cultivating that deep-rooted foundation in Europe, he brought all that extensive knowledge, that experience, to Victoria and Vancouver in Canada, offering this exclusive selection of Persian and Oriental carpets. It really highlights the global but also intensely personal nature of this specialized business, doesn't it? Expertise cultivated over decades, then transported across continents. It's really a testament to the enduring value and sort of universal appeal of these handcrafted pieces. They just transcend borders and generations.
And that profound expertise clearly carries on with his son, Babak Rizwani, who owns and operates the Victoria showroom now. It's pretty striking that he's literally been immersed in the carpet business his entire life. Just growing up around these incredible textiles, soaking up all that knowledge. What kind of in-depth understanding and specialization does that lifelong immersion really translate into? For the business, sure, but also for their customers, the people actually investing in these pieces.
Well, it translates into a vast knowledge of most carpets from around the world. I mean, just imagine the breadth of understanding that entails in a field as diverse and intricate as Oriental carpets. Think of all the patterns, materials, histories he's probably absorbed over the years. And while he has this broad knowledge, Babak apparently has a particular specialization in carpets from Persia, an area just renowned for its incredibly rich weaving traditions. He's described as being, dedicated to the study of Oriental carpets, which implies this continuous engagement, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Learning, research, connoisseurship, not just the selling part.
Right, not just shifting inventory.
Exactly. And crucially, he's always pleased, eager even, to share his insights on their historical significance, how a rug reflects its time and place, on the intricate hand-knotting techniques involved in making them, their potential as an investment, which is important for discerning collectors, and just their overall quality, from the fibers right down to the finishing. This commitment to education, to transparency, it really underscores the depth of understanding needed in this field. It moves beyond mere commerce, really, into a true appreciation, almost an academic study of the art form itself. It speaks to a passion that goes way beyond just the transaction. It's about preserving and sharing cultural heritage.
It certainly sounds like a true passion, a labor of love, really, that goes far beyond a typical retail setup. And the services they offer, they really reflect that deep commitment, don't they? And the high value placed on these items, it's almost like they treat them as living heirlooms. We're talking about everything from worldwide shipping and free delivery, though you'd probably want to check specific regional details on that, of course, to very specialized essential services like professional carpet repair and expert cleaning, which are vital for these pieces.
Absolutely essential for longevity.
Right, but it doesn't stop there. They also offer appraisals absolutely crucial for collectors, anyone interested in investment value, or even just for insurance. They provide trade-in and purchasing options, creating this sort of complete life cycle for these valuable pieces. Plus, offering no-obligation trials and detailed information sheets on all carpets. That shows a remarkable level of customer service and, frankly, confidence in their products.
It really does.
So yeah, this isn't just a shop. It's a full-service hub for carpet enthusiasts and owners. It reflects the immense value and the meticulous care these items command, making sure their beauty and integrity are preserved for, well, generations, hopefully. This dedication really illustrates how, in a world of increasingly disposable stuff, true value and longevity are fostered by a commitment that goes beyond just selling something, turning luxury items into legacy pieces. It's a powerful reminder that genuine expertise doesn't just sell, it preserves and educates. Understanding the human dedication behind these rugs definitely makes you appreciate them even more, but Shirvans, they don't exist in a vacuum, do they? They're part of this much larger, distinct family of textiles. Caucasian carpets. So with that appreciation for the expertise and the whole spectrum of services supporting these magnificent textiles, let's widen our lens a bit. Our sources tell us Shirvan rugs are part of this larger category. So what makes this group, Caucasian carpets, stand out from other regional rug-making traditions? What are their defining characteristics?
Well, what's really striking here is that Caucasian carpets and rugs are primarily made in villages, not in large urban centers or cities. And that distinction is quite significant, actually, because it means they often draw on materials particular to individual tribal provinces within the region, which gives each rug a very distinct, authentic character, rooted in local traditions, local beliefs, local resources.
So very tied to place.
Exactly. And unlike some of the more ornate, maybe curvilinear styles you associate with grand Persian court weaving, Caucasian rugs are known for displaying these bold, often quite abstract geometric designs. They rarely shy away from strong visual statements. Additionally, their color palettes predominantly feature primary colors, rich reds, deep blues, vibrant yellows. They contribute to their striking, almost tribal and often very vibrant appearance.
Right, that bold look.
Yeah. So this combination, village production, local materials, strong geometric style, primary colors, it creates this truly unique and honestly immediately recognizable style within the broader world of Oriental carpets. It's kind of a reflection of the rugged, independent spirit of the Caucasus region itself woven into the fabric.
So we're talking about very specific regional style then, with clear design hallmarks that make them pretty identifiable, even if you're not an expert. Sounds like there's a really strong sense of place and local identity embedded right in the threads. What are some of the other key styles or subdivisions within this broader Caucasian bracket that Shirvan belongs to? It might help to understand its neighbors, so to speak, and how Shirvan fits into this really vibrant family.
Right. Understanding the neighborhood helps. So beyond Shirvan itself, common and highly collectible styles from this region include Daghestan. They often have this deeply ribbed back, gives them a distinct feel. Then there's Vern, known for their unique, often abstract animal patterns, or these bold, oversized medallions. You've got Ganja, which typically features strong, simple geometric designs. Kazakh rugs, often characterized by large, bold medallions and maybe a coarser weave. Kuba is interesting, sometimes incorporates more floral or even pictorial elements, maybe reflecting its closeness to Persian influences.
A bit more flowery, maybe.
A little, sometimes, yeah. And Kuba rugs, known for their intricate floral details, often on a finer weave. And interestingly, some carpet styles from contemporary northwestern Iran, like artable rugs, they also largely fall into this Caucasian bracket, stylistically speaking, in terms of design and weaving traditions, which really highlights the cultural and geographical fluidity, doesn't it? Rug-making traditions. Well, political borders don't always line up neatly with artistic or cultural boundaries. The similarities across these styles speak to shared histories, trade routes, communities that were interwoven long before modern lines were drawn on maps. It's a rich tapestry, really, of regional expressions within a broader stylistic family, each with its own subtle but important distinctions.
That gives us a great sense of the family Shirvan belongs to, and just how diverse and rich the Caucasian rag tradition is overall. Knowing its place in that lineage helps us understand its unique qualities better, I think. So now that we've set the stage, understood the expertise involved, grasped the broader context, let's zoom in on Shirvan itself. And now, having grasped that broad context of Caucasian weaving, let's zero in on Shirvan itself. This is where the details really start to paint a remarkable picture. To really understand the soul of a Shirvan rug, we need to pinpoint its heartland first. Where exactly do these exquisite rugs come from? And are there any hidden clues in their name? Names often carry that deep resonance, don't they?
They really do. Shirvan rugs. They hail from the Shirvan region of Azerbaijan, which is strategically located in the southeastern Caucasus. To get a clearer picture, historically, this area, also spelled Shirvan or Shirvan, stretched along the western coast of the Caspian Sea. A vital historical trade route, remember. Its geographical reach went from the southern parts of the mighty Caucasus Mountains, a natural barrier, and a source of that unique sheep wool, all the way down to the Kura River, which winds through fertile lands.
So quite a specific area.
Quite specific, yeah.
Oh.
And yes, the name itself holds this beautiful, resonant meaning. Shirvan, or Shirvan, is Persian, Farsi, for cypress tree.
Cypress tree.
Isn't it? And this small detail, it connects the rug not just to a place, but to the land, its flora, the deep linguistic roots of its origin. The cypress tree, often a symbol of immortality, strength, grace in Persian art. It adds this layer of poetic, natural significance to the art form itself, suggests the enduring nature, the quiet dignity of these creations. It's a subtle reminder, really, of the natural environment and the cultural influences that inspire these enduring pieces.
Knowing where they come from geographically, how far back does the weaving tradition in Shirvan actually stretch? And what cultural elements or, historical currents shape this art form into what we recognize today? Given the region's history, the blend of influences must be pretty rich.
Yeah, that raises a really important question about the depth, the longevity of this craft. That's what defines its heritage, really. Our sources indicate rugs have been woven there since at least the 18th century. And it's quite possible, even probable, that the tradition goes back much earlier than documented records show, perhaps even to nomadic tribal origins. What's truly remarkable about the Shirvan region is its incredibly diverse cultural heritage. It's been a crossroads for various ethnic groups throughout history. Turkic peoples like the Azeris, indigenous Caucasian groups like the Armenians, periods of Persian influence.
A real melting pot.
Absolutely. And both Azeri Turks and Armenians have notably contributed to these weaving traditions, often working side by side, or influencing each other's motifs and techniques. This blend of Persian and Turkic influences is absolutely crucial, because it explains the rich, intricate cultural tapestry that's literally woven into the very designs, the patterns of these rugs. For instance, the Turkic influence often shows up in the bold, angular geometric motifs, maybe a more rustic aesthetic, reflecting tribal nomadic life. In contrast, the Persian influence, coming from that long tradition of court weaving, might introduce a more refined sense of balance, stylized floral elements, or even curvilinear forms, though they're often geometrically abstracted in Shirvan rugs.
So it's like a conversation happening in the wool.
Exactly. It's a historical dialogue playing out right there. It's not just aesthetics. And over time, these designs, these patterns, they've naturally evolved, mirroring the shifts, the nuances in the region's cultural landscape. Absorbing new ideas while holding on to core elements, it's a living art form, reflecting centuries of interaction, migration, innovation.
It's truly fascinating how these rugs become a canvas for cultural exchange and evolution, like a visual archive of the region's history, reflecting the very fabric of its societies. Knowing how deeply rooted they are locally, what about their reach beyond the immediate region? How did these beautiful creations get known to the wider world? How did they move from local villages to international markets, crossing their original borders?
Right, connecting it to the bigger picture. A hugely significant turning point for Shirvan rugs, and really for all Caucasian carpets, was the completion of the Trans-Caucasian Railway. This vital piece of infrastructure, it was finished in the 1870s, a period of immense industrial and infrastructural expansion globally. Before that railway, the area was relatively remote, less accessible to external markets, to merchants. The geography of the Caucasus, towering mountains, often challenging terrain.
Yeah.
It naturally limited large-scale trade of bulky goods like rugs. They were mostly traded locally, maybe regionally.
So the railway just completely changed the game.
Completely transformed the dynamic. It effectively opened up the area to European dealers, created direct, efficient routes for large-scale export for the first time. I mean, imagine the difference. Instead of arduous caravan routes, dealers could suddenly transport hundreds of rugs at a time by rail.
Wow, yeah.
This newfound accessibility, it naturally led to a substantial and pretty rapid increase in the trade and export of Shirvan rugs and other Caucasian textiles.
Mm.
This railway didn't just move goods, it moved culture, it moved art. It expanded the market, the appreciation for these unique textiles far beyond their immediate geographical confines, took them from humble village workshops to, grand European homes and galleries. It also likely influenced production, right? Weavers might have adapted to meet this increasing demand, maybe standardizing certain popular patterns or just increasing output.
Makes sense.
It's a prime, powerful example of how infrastructure development can profoundly impact cultural dissemination, turning regional crafts into globally recognized art forms and shaping their very future. The railway became the conduit, really, the way the artistry of Shirvan weavers reached new audiences and garnered international acclaim, forever changing their place in the world of art.
Okay, now that we have a solid grasp of their history, their origin, and how they reached those global markets, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What makes a Shirvan rug identifiable? Aesthetically pleasing, what's the overall impression you get from these rugs? And how do they compare maybe to their Caucasian relatives, like the more robust Kazakhs or Kubas we mentioned?
Shirvan rugs are widely attractive, I think, for their quiet, agreeable tints, meaning their colors, while often vibrant, they have this certain harmony, this subdued elegance that makes them incredibly versatile. They fit well in diverse interiors. They're also known for a fine, even texture, which really speaks to the meticulous craftsmanship in their weaving, a key physical characteristic. They're often described as being relatively thin, yet densely knotted.
Thin but dense.
Okay. Yeah, that combination contributes to their surprising durability for their weight and also the exceptional clarity of their intricate designs. The thinness, in particular, probably made them highly desirable for trade back then, easier to transport over long distances, subtly influencing their global reach, even before the railway, perhaps. While they were historically made in large quantities and readily sold, indicating their commercial success, their widespread appeal, there's a clear quality distinction to be made. The best examples. Traditionally made of fine, hand-spun white wool. That indicates superior material quality, takes dye beautifully, wears gracefully. In contrast, inferior ones might incorporate cotton or even goat's hair into the pile or foundation, which would result in a less refined texture, maybe a duller look, potentially less durable pile. So that gives us a clear quality marker for discerning their value and authenticity.
That makes perfect sense. Material quality is always crucial in textiles, affecting both beauty and how long they last. So, how do they stack up against those other Caucasian rugs we mentioned earlier, like Kuba or Kazakh? Are there specific design or structural differences that help an eye distinguish a Shirvan, especially for someone who isn't already an expert?
Well, Shirvan rugs certainly share fundamental similarities with Kuba and Kazakh styles, particularly in their general geometric aesthetic. I mean, they all belong to that broader Caucasian family. However, a key distinction, and one of their most appealing characteristics, I think, is that Shirvans often have a more delicate and intricate style compared to their counterparts.
More detailed.
Exactly. This contrasts quite sharply with the bolder, sometimes almost monumental designs you typically find in Kazakh rugs. Kazakhs often favor larger, more expansive medallions and geometric motifs that make a grand immediate statement. Shirvans, on the other hand, they kind of invite a closer look, a more detailed inspection. Imagine the difference between, say, a broad landscape painting and a finely detailed miniature. The intricacy of Shirvan designs with their finer lines, their more densely packed patterns. It makes them uniquely appealing for those who appreciate that more refined, densely packed visual narrative. While Kazakhs might make a grand, forceful statement with big, almost blocky motifs, Shirvans kind of whisper their stories through a multitude of smaller, interconnected elements. That difference in design density and scale, that's a primary visual cue.
The designs really are where these rugs tell their stories, aren't they? Acting as this visual language passed down through generations, often imbued with layers of meaning. What are the common patterns we should look for? And what kind of specific motifs might we identify that are characteristic of Shirvan artistry? Give us some vivid descriptions so we can really picture them.
Okay, yeah. Shirvan rugs are primarily known for their intricate geometric patterns. That's a hallmark of the region's weaving tradition, and really a testament to the mathematical precision of the weavers. You'll often see this captivating mix of tribal motifs connecting them to specific communities, their unique symbols alongside stylized floral designs. And these aren't, realistic flowers. They're abstracted geometric interpretations. A rose might become a complex polygon, a vine, a series of interlocking lines.
Ah, okay. Geometric flowers.
Pretty much. Common elements, signature ones for Shirvan rugs,
Mm-hmm.
include the latch hook. It's a very frequent design element. Imagine a simple but powerful geometric motif, literally looking like a small, stylized hook, or maybe a Z shape, often appearing in multiples, interlocked, or as a border to other central shapes. It adds this dynamic, angular energy to the design, almost like little watchful eyes woven in. Another significant motif is the S-shaped dragon motif. Again, not a literal fire-breathing dragon.
Right, probably not.
No, it's a highly stylized, almost abstract S-shape, often with small geometric heads and tails. It's believed to be an ancient symbol of protection, fertility, maybe cosmic power. And its geometric nature lets it integrate seamlessly into the rug's overall pattern. The tree of life is also a profound and recurrent symbol here, representing growth, connection to heaven and earth, often spiritual significance. Appears as a stylized, often geometric tree with branches and roots. So yeah, it's this fascinating blend of abstract geometry, profound symbolic representations, and elements that seem to tell an ancient visual narrative, all within a tightly packed design.
And it gets even more detailed sometimes, doesn't it? Our sources mention pictorial elements as well, which sounds like an even deeper dive into the weaver's personal stories or local scenes, moving beyond just pure symbolism.
Absolutely. While the majority of Shirvan rugs feature those geometric and symbolic patterns, some examples really do showcase more pictorial elements. And this is where the individuality of the weavers, the richness of the region's everyday life, really come into play, offering a unique glimpse into their world. You might find representations of animals often stylized, but clearly identifiable. Maybe a flock of goats, a lone camel, a graceful bird woven right into the design, or even human figures maybe depicted in traditional dress or engaged in daily activity.
Like little scenes.
Exactly. Even more fascinating are full scenes from daily life. Vignettes of village scenes, harvests, pastoral activities maybe. Imagine a weaver, perhaps, depicting the very animals she tended to that day, or a small stylized figure tending a flock right in the field of the rug. This inclusion of pictorial elements is particularly intriguing because it reflects the weaver's personal creativity and the region's rich storytelling traditions, essentially turning the rug into a narrative textile. It's a way for the weavers to imbue their personal experiences, their observations, right into the fabric, making each piece truly unique and a living window into their world.
Beyond the intricate patterns, the colors must play a huge role in their appeal, their overall aesthetic. What palette is typical for Shirvan rugs? And how are these vibrant hues achieved given their historical context and that reliance on traditional methods?
Predominantly, Shirvan rugs feature this rich, balanced palette of blues, reds, and browns in the field. Those are the foundational colors that give the rugs their distinctive character and depth. These main colors are often complemented by striking accents of golden yellow and ivory. They add highlights, contrast, a sense of warmth to the whole composition. What's particularly noteworthy and speaks to the authenticity, the traditional craftsmanship, is how these vibrant, diverse color palettes are achieved. The wool, the primary material, is often dyed using natural dyes.
Ah, the natural dyes.
Exactly. Derived from a variety of sources found right in the local environment. Speaks to that deep connection to the natural world, sustainable practices. For instance, deep reds typically came from the madder root, yielded a spectrum from brick red to rich burgundy. Brilliant blues were extracted from the indigo plant, a staple in traditional dyeing. Golden yellows could come from pomegranate rinds, saffron, even chamomile flowers. Earthy browns often came from walnut husks or oak bark, and ivory or cream, often just the natural color of the wool itself.
Amazing resourcefulness.
It really is. And this traditional dyeing process, it gives Shirvan rugs their characteristic depth, their nuance, and that beautiful aging process, where colors mellow and develop a unique patina over time, telling their own story of wear and light.
Okay, let's get into the actual construction, which is really the backbone of the rug's quality, its longevity. What materials are typically used, and how are these rugs knotted, given their reputation for density and durability?
Right, the structure. Shirvan rugs are fundamentally known for being meticulously hand-knotted, a hugely labor-intensive process that underscores their artisanal value, distinguishes them from machine-made stuff. They typically utilize high-quality wool, often sourced from local sheep breeds. Again, that connection to regional resources, traditional pastoral practices. This wool is frequently hand-spun, a process that can result in slight irregularities in thickness, a unique character in the yarn, adds to the rug's charm, its authenticity. The foundation that's the warp and weft threads creating the grid the knots are tied onto is usually made of wool itself. Wool foundations are known for being resilient, flexible.
Makes sense.
However, it's worth noting, some older, particularly fine examples might feature a cotton or even silk warp. Cotton provides a very stable, rigid foundation, allows for really precise knotting, a crisper design. Silk, on the other hand, used for the most luxurious pieces, offers incredible strengths for its thinness, allowing for the highest knot densities, the most intricate, almost pictorial designs. These variations often indicate different weaving periods, maybe specific regional workshops within Shirvan, or just the intended quality level of the rug.
And what about the knotting itself? Are there specific techniques that distinguish Shirvan rugs or variations in the type of knot used? And how does that impact the final product?
Good question. Shirvan rugs are well regarded for their relatively high knot density, a key indicator of fine craftsmanship and durability. This density often ranges quite impressively, from 100 to maybe 300 knots per square inch.
Per square inch? Wow.
Yeah, to give you a sense, imagine counting tiny, individual knots in just 1 square inch. A higher knot count typically allows for more intricate, sharper designs and a more durable, resilient pile. Weavers predominantly use the symmetrical Turkish knot, also known as the Geordes knot. This knot is formed by wrapping the yarn around 2 warp threads, pulling it through, then cutting it. Creates a very secure, resilient pile that stands upright, often associated with a slightly squarer, bolder aesthetic. Excellent for geometric patterns.
Okay, the Turkish knot.
Right. However, and this is worth noting for experts, collectors, some examples also feature the asymmetrical Persian knot, or Sena knot. This knot wraps around just 1 warp thread, allows for much finer detail, more curvilinear designs, almost like the difference between broad strokes and fine lines in painting. The presence of either knot can sometimes be a key identifier for experts trying to pinpoint the exact origin or specific workshop within the Shirvan region. Some villages preferred one over the other, you see. This subtle detail highlights the nuanced knowledge needed for authenticating and appreciating these textiles.
That's incredibly precise detail. Really speaks to the craftsmanship, the specific choices a weaver might make. So for someone just starting out, how quickly could they train their eye or maybe their hand to spot that specific knot variation? Or is that truly a master-level observation? And beyond the knots, are there other physical characteristics, maybe on the back or the edges, that help identify a Shirvan or distinguish it from other Caucasian rugs, particularly ones that might look superficially similar?
That's an excellent question, and honestly, it's a bit of both. While a true master can often identify the knot type almost at a glance, a curious learner can definitely train their eye and hand. If you turn the rug over, right, the back reveals the structural skeleton. The symmetrical Turkish knot often creates a slightly more chunky or grainy feel on the back, a more visible grid of knots. The asymmetrical Persian knot tends to produce a smoother, finer back, allowing for those more intricate designs on the surface. So it's something you can learn to feel and see with practice, definitely.
Okay, so feeling the back helps. What else?
Definitely. Beyond the knotting, several physical characteristics are critical for identification. As mentioned, Shirvan rugs are usually thin and densely knotted. You can often feel that by hand, a pliable yet substantial fabric. The warp threads running lengthwise, the foundation are typically light in color. Often undyed brown sheep's wool spun together. They appear as fine parallel lines on the back. The wefts, running across the width, packed between knot rows to secure them, are also light and thin. Helps create that dense, firm feel. The selvages, the finished sides, are usually distinctively white, created by wrapping the edge threads tightly over double or triple foundation threads. Gives them a distinct look, almost like a neat braided edge.
White edges. Interesting.
Yeah, often white. And while wool is primary, you do see cotton wefts in some Shirvans, gives a slightly crisper handle, and occasionally silk wefts, particularly in the very finest pieces, adding a subtle sheen to the back. Now, for differentiating them from other Caucasian rugs, you need to look at specific structural nuances, especially that warp depression we touched on.
Right, the ribbing on the back.
Exactly. Imagine the back of the rug. If you run your hand across it horizontally, the warp depression is how much those lengthwise warp threads are pushed down or offset by the crosswise wefts. Creates a noticeable ridge or rib. For instance, Kuba rugs, geographically closed, share design elements typically have a warp depression of about 45 to 70 degrees. Creates a noticeable but not extremely pronounced ribbing. Daghestan rugs, on the other hand, have a deeply ribbed back, even more pronounced. Warp depression over 70 degrees gives them an almost corduroy-like feel, instantly recognizable to an expert. Shirvan rugs, in contrast, generally have a flatter back, minimal or no warp depression.
Ah, okay, so that flatness is a key Shirvan trait.
It's a very important one, yeah. These subtle structural differences, especially looking at the back, are critical for accurate identification. Helps you truly see the rug, not just its surface design, but its entire woven architecture. Provides definitive clues to its origin and type. It's like learning to read the rug's DNA, really.
Given everything we've learned, their fascinating history, intricate artistry, meticulous craftsmanship, it's really no surprise that Shirvan rugs are highly valued. But beyond their inherent beauty, what specifically makes them such sought-after collector's items and so popular in interior design today? What's the enduring appeal?
Well, Shirvan rugs are highly valued by collectors precisely for their multifaceted appeal. Their unique beauty, which is undeniable, instantly captivating, but also their exceptional craftsmanship, evident in the fine, nodding, detailed patterns, quality materials, and perhaps most importantly, their profound historical significance. They aren't just decorative objects, they are tangible pieces of history, carrying centuries of tradition, cultural narrative from a real crossroads of civilizations. This blend of aesthetic brilliance and historical depth makes them irresistible to serious collectors who seek not just beauty, but provenance, story.
Right, the whole package.
Exactly. And beyond the collector's market, they are also incredibly popular choices for interior design, from traditional spaces to very contemporary ones. They possess this inherent ability to add a distinct touch of elegance, authenticity, cultural richness to any room. Their geometric patterns, those often subdued yet vibrant natural color palettes, make them surprisingly versatile. They integrate beautifully into diverse decor schemes, instantly elevate a room's character with their timeless appeal. They really bridge that gap between ancient art and modern living.
So it's clearly not just about aesthetics. There's a strong investment aspect, a powerful story behind each piece. What specific factors, then, influence their monetary value, their desirability as an investment? How does one assess a Shirvan rug's worth beyond just its visual appeal?
Several crucial factors dictate their value. A comprehensive assessment considers all of them. Firstly, age is significant. Authentic antique Shirvan rugs, generally those woven before, say, 1920, are typically more valuable due to rarity, historical provenance, use of older, often more stable natural dyes. Secondly, condition is paramount. A rug in excellent, original condition, minimal wear, no significant pile loss, only expert, well-executed, invisible repairs will always command a higher price than one that's heavily worn, extensively damaged, or poorly repaired. Collectors look for integrity.
Makes sense. Condition is key.
Absolutely. Thirdly, the materials used play a vital role. As we discuss, rugs made with high-quality, hand-spun local wool and exclusively natural dyes, typically more valuable than those using inferior materials or, heaven forbid, synthetic dyes, which tend to fade unevenly, lack the nuance of natural colors. Fourth, and crucially, knot density, a key indicator of the labor, the skill involved. Higher knot density, as we discuss, translates to a finer, more durable rug, greater design detail, thus increasing its value significantly. And finally, provenance, the documented history of ownership, can also add value, especially if a rug has been part of a notable collection or exhibition. This comprehensive assessment ensures each rug is valued not just as decoration, but as a genuine piece of history and art, reflecting the meticulous craftsmanship and the rarity of truly exceptional examples in the market.
Okay, this is where the story takes an unexpected and actually incredibly exciting turn, one that truly showcases the living, evolving nature of art and tradition. Our sources reveal that the production of Shirvan rug designs has expanded far beyond its original region. It's almost like the art form itself is migrating, finding new homes, new hands to continue its legacy. Where is this new, significant hub for Shirvan rug creation?
Yeah, this is fascinating. In recent years, the production of Shirvan rug designs has indeed expanded remarkably beyond its traditional home in the Caucasus region and into Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Right. This represents a truly significant, dynamic new chapter for these traditional patterns. Shows how cultural art forms can find new life, new expression across vast geographical and cultural boundaries. It's really a testament to the enduring appeal, the adaptability of these specific designs, that they've been embraced so far from their origin. And in a country, Afghanistan, with its own millennia-old weaving heritage.
And how have Afghan weavers who have their own incredibly rich ancient rug-making history, their own distinct traditions, how have they embraced these Shirvan designs? Is it just simple replication? A kind of, I don't know, cultural appropriation? Or is there a genuine, respectful, creative synthesis happening? I imagine with such a deep-rooted tradition, Afghan weavers would naturally infuse their own artistry.
That's a critical distinction, and it's definitely the latter, a genuine, respectful, creative synthesis. Afghan weavers have truly embraced the traditional motifs and patterns of Shirvan rugs with remarkable skill, remarkable creativity, incorporating them into their own established creations. This isn't just mere replication, it's described as a profound fusion of design elements from both the Caucasus, where Shirvan designs originated, and Afghanistan, with its deep-seated weaving heritage. This blending has led to a new waves of stunning high-quality rugs that carry the essence of Shirvan's heritage while being deeply imbued with Afghan artistry.
So a real blend.
A real blend, yeah.
Huh.
Demonstrates mutual respect for both traditions, resulting in something truly unique, captivating. Historically, Afghan rug weaving has been influenced by various cultures, its position on ancient trade routes, and more recently, during periods of conflict, displacement, many Afghan weavers found themselves in new environments, leading to adaptation of skills, designs, and there's a strong demand for their exceptional quality. This dynamic history has perhaps made them particularly adept at absorbing, reinterpreting external influences, making this adoption of Shirvan designs feel like a natural evolution, in a way.
That sounds like a beautiful blend then, a true convergence of artistic traditions across cultures.
Mhm.
So are they using the exact same materials and techniques as the original Shirvan weavers in the Caucasus? Or are they adding their own distinct Afghan touch to the production process? How does that fusion manifest in the physical rug?
While Afghan weavers are definitely adding their own distinct touch while honoring the Shirvan aesthetic. They use local materials, which is crucial for authenticity, sustainability, like their renowned hand-spun Ghazni wool known for incredible strength, luster, ability to take natural dyes beautifully, and they continue to use natural dyes sourced from local plants, minerals, just as the original Shirvan weavers did. So that ensures the rugs retain the intricate designs, the vibrant organic colors characteristic of Shirvan rugs, maintains that visual fidelity, that connection to traditional methods.
But the technique might differ.
Exactly. The critical point of distinction is that while recreating the designs, they also employ their own traditional Afghan knotting techniques. And these Afghan techniques can slightly differ from those used in the original Shirvan rugs in the Caucasus. For instance, Afghan weavers often use a specific loom setup, or maybe a particular tension in their knots, that gives their rugs a distinctive feel, a distinctive drape. The finishing styles might also vary subtly.
Ah, okay. Subtle but important differences.
Right. Vary. This distinction in technique, combined with the local materials, results in truly unique and fascinating pieces. These rugs showcase the craftsmanship, the artistic sensibilities of both regions, making them a testament to a beautiful cross-cultural collaboration, not just a reproduction. They are new creations, inspired by old masters, infused with the spirit of their new home. It's a powerful example of how global demand for quality craftsmanship, combined with cultural resilience, can give an art form a whole new lease on life.
It's truly remarkable how this art form is living, evolving, adapting across continents, proving that traditions aren't static, but fluid, dynamic. What does this expansion of Shirvan rug production into Afghanistan mean for the broader appreciation, the legacy of Shirvan rugs globally? What's the ultimate takeaway from this unexpected journey?
Well, this expansion offers a really fresh perspective on the rich history and cultural significance of these captivating textiles. It challenges that notion that artistic traditions are static or confined to their place of origin. Instead, it highlights their dynamic nature, their universal appeal, their incredible capacity to transcend geographical political boundaries. With this blend of traditional Shirvan designs and contemporary Afghan influences, craftsmanship, Afghan-made Shirvan rugs are a powerful testament to the enduring appeal, the timeless artistry of the rug-making craft itself. It powerfully shows how cultural traditions can adapt, grow, find new life, new expression across borders, enriching their legacy, reaching new audiences in the process.
Yeah, that's quite something.
It's a vibrant example of how art, rather than being just a relic of the past, can continue to tell new stories, create new connections in our globalized world, proving that tree artistry really knows no boundaries.
So we've journeyed quite a way today. From the historical Shirvan region in Azerbaijan, through those intricate geometric patterns, the vibrant natural dyes, to the skilled hand-knotting techniques that make these rugs so distinctive. We've seen how centuries of tradition evolved, how their allure became global thanks in part to things like the Transcaucasian Railway, and how expert knowledge from businesses like Babak's Oriental Carpets keeps this art form alive and appreciated today, even as far afield as Afghanistan. This deep dive has hopefully given you, our listener, a shortcut to being truly well-informed about Shirvan rugs, revealing the hidden stories, the meticulous craftsmanship, the cultural richness woven into every single piece. It's a powerful example, isn't it, of how art, history, and geography intertwine in this tangible, beautiful form. Making these rugs far more than just floor coverings, they really are cultural artifacts. And as we've seen with Shirvan Designs finding this new home, this new interpretation in Afghanistan, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other deeply rooted cultural traditions or artistic expressions do you think are currently undergoing a similar transformation? Maybe in unexpected parts of the world, enriching their legacy even further. What does this tell us about the universal language of art and craft and its incredible capacity to adapt, flourish, and tell new stories across cultures and across time? Something to think about.